So who do we want to work with? We want to work with those that want to sell, need to sell, and everybody is in agreement on this. We got to work with the ones that have to sell. Okay, so who are those people? That's the only question you want to ask yourself. Who are the people that have to sell?
Welcome to the Success with Listings podcast, where we help you get success in the real estate game the easy way. Now you can get off the roller coaster of feast and famine and out of the rat race of competing with every other agent in town. Hi, I'm Knolly Williams. I took over 1,000 listings during my first 10 years in the real estate game, and in this podcast, I show you how to have success with listings. Let's go.
Let's talk about just a couple of quick announcements before I get into the masterclass. Now, this is, I call it the birth of a masterclass, okay? Because this is, now that you guys are in the family, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to kind of see how we put these masterclasses together. And there are a lot of masterclasses in here. Don't get overwhelmed. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. We put these in sort of an order for you to follow. And they unlock at different times unless you're an annual member. Today, I'm going to show you how to get the annual membership for free, okay? Look at all these AIs in class, Paul. They just send, they're cheating, man. They just send it. It's like sending your kids to school, but you don't go yourself, you know? All right, so this is the behind the scenes. I want to talk about, though, what we have on the horizon. So I want to make sure that you are aware that tomorrow we have our agent production training, and it's going to be fire. I already know it's going to be fire because, am I on the right one? I'm on the wrong one. Is that the right one, Paul? Yeah, it is the right one. 22. Okay. All right. We've got, is this right, Paul? Branding for the modern agent and leveraging your listings and sphere through acts of gratitude. Is that right for tomorrow?
Yes.
It's good? Okay. So branding for the modern agent and leveraging your listings and sphere through acts of gratitude. That's going to be tomorrow. Now it's showing right here from noon to 1 Chicago time, but just make sure when you go in here, it's going to tell you what time it is in your time zone. This Next Level Tuesday, something that we have through Next Level Agents. And it's every single Tuesday. So just make sure that you add it to your calendar. Okay. And by the way, remember, if for Next Level Tuesdays, the only ones that we allow to teach those are agents that are already making at least $250,000 or more a year. So they're already doing at least 30 deals. They're icon agents. So they're already doing at least 30 deals. So if you want to, know what is going on, how are people getting deals today, then you want to make sure that you attend the Next Level Tuesday every single Tuesday, as well as this one that's every Monday, okay? So that's the announcement I have for you. Now today, what we're going to talk about, oh, and by the way, if you have anything that you want to add or share, jump into the community, okay? Everything is now in the school platform. Paul and I were just talking about it. So I met last week with like 20 different masters. We met out on Lake LBJ area. So beautiful out there. And a lot of them didn't know about school. They were like, what's school? What is that? Because remember, for a long time, we had the Mentorship Masters portal was on a different platform. It was on ClickFunnels. Well, it's not on ClickFunnels anymore. Now it's in school because it's so much easier. Remember, we have that map where you can click on it and you can see where all the members are. That's pretty cool. Like if you want to do referrals, people want to refer to you. Guess what? If you're not in here, they're not going to find you. All right. So, there's just so many cool features inside of school that it made me want to switch to this platform. So this is where we are now. If you're in Mentorship Masters, just remember, we're not so much on Workplace, and we're not so much in the, and we're not at all in the old portal. Everything's here now. And we do 3 classes a week. So, all right, let me get into the topic for today. And we're going to talk about the tools of the listing trade. Okay, the tools of the listing trade. What are they? Do you have them? Are they working in your business? And what is the psychology behind these tools? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. And this is, I call it the birth of a masterclass, because this is the first installment of the masterclass that is talking about tools. The reason I want to talk about this is because I've been teaching and preaching about tools for at least a decade. When I wrote the book, Success with Listings, some of you may or may not know that it's coming up on the 10-year anniversary of that book. Did you know that, Paul? I wrote that book in October. It released in October of 2015, and it's still evergreen. That's right. It's still evergreen. We're going to update it. We're going to talk about AI and a lot of other things that are going on. And that, I think the update of it is these calls, these weekly calls. But yeah, it's, I've been preaching since that book and even before that you should have certain tools as a listing specialist. And if you don't have them in your business, or you have them and you're not using them properly, that's what this masterclass is all about. And we might end up going, we're going to talk about 3 specific tools. There are others, okay, but we're going to talk specifically about 3 in this masterclass series. Now, what are they? Number 1 is going to be your seller guide, your book, okay? And I just can't reiterate it enough. I get it. We're in AI. We're in the age of AI. People are sending their classes. Like right now, Paul and I have several AIs in this class, and the people that own the AIs are not here. I get it. That's the new thing. That's what's up right now, and I'm okay with that. But nothing trumps handing your client a book. It just doesn't. You can't trump it, okay? You can have QR codes and fancy websites and funnels. Like I have so many funnels, okay? I use ClickFunnels. I use Go High Level. I don't know any agent that has more funnels than I do. I don't think there is one, Paul, that's got more funnels than we have. But the reality is, when it comes back to a good old-fashioned book that you can put in somebody's hand, nothing trumps it. It just doesn't. And when it comes to shooting your credibility through the roof, there's no trumping that. So number 1 is going to be your seller guide. Number 2 is going to be your pre-listing package. And we're going to go through the next, I don't know how many weeks we're going to spend on that, but I want to get you the psychology behind the pre-listing package, why I put it together, why I still use it, why you should use it. Remember that you're going to win the listing before you ever meet with the seller. Okay. I've been teaching you that for years. You have to win the listing before you ever meet with the seller. All right. And I had a discussion with someone just this past week, and it's like we already know that when the strategy, when the market changes, the strategy changes. When the game changes, we change the game. When the game changes, the rules change. Anybody remember that book back in the day called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? Such a good book. The reality is the cheese is still there. I talked to Bradford Page last Thursday. He said he's having the best year he's ever had. And I know that there's others of you that are doing the same. I talked to Daniel Hunt on Friday, and he was on his way to 2 listing appointments. He's got some big dollar listings and they're selling, okay? And he knows he's got to have more of them now or he's got to go after a different kind of clientele. So the cheese is still there. It might have been moved. That's okay. So your pre-listing package is number 1. Number 2 is going to be, number 1 is going to be your seller guide. Number 2 is going to be your pre-listing package. And number 3 is going to be your pre-listing video, okay? And we'll talk about that. We'll do some scripting around it when we get to that particular lesson or that module of this training. We'll talk all about it, but I'm feeling like the videos have to be shorter and shorter now. When I first did my first pre-listing video, I think it was like 10 minutes long. But you have to understand, if someone is trusting you with their life savings, okay, they will spend the time that it takes to investigate and look into it. Find EXP. I didn't want to hear anything about it. Okay, that was my initial reaction. And Paul, you were there with me back then. I was at Keller Williams. I was loving every minute of it. Didn't want to switch. But once I decided to take a look at it, I kind of went down a rabbit hole. And I spent hours and hours and hours watching video after video after video about EXP. Well, your clients are no different. Okay. They are going to spend time, learning about you, what you offer, how did they sell their home, what are the best techniques, what's going on right now to get home sold, all that, whatever it is, they're gonna do a little bit of research, okay? And you don't want them to go outside of your circle. In other words, you want to be the wiki page for them, okay? You want to be the chat GPT for your clients. Don't let them go outside of you. And if you give them these 3 tools, they won't have to go outside of you. They'll have everything they need to make the right decision. The right decision is to hire you, okay? By the way, when you have these tools in your business, it also makes you a rock star with buyers. Why is that? Because you got to understand psychology. Even buyers understand, okay? If a buyer meets me at a house, or I'm out showing buyers property, or I'm putting together a net sheet, or even a CMA for a buyer, they know in the heart of hearts that the listing agents run this game. They already know that they rule the day. So if I'm working with a buyer and I've got 12 listings, and they can see that I'm a listing person, a listing guy, they're going to have more respect for me, okay? They're going to be shorter in their conversations. They're going to feel like it's a privilege to work with you, okay? And when you have all these tools in place, that's exactly what it does. I had one of my clients, she reached out to me this morning. Look what she said. Knolly, I have a question on your thoughts. What do you think of me offering concessions instead of dropping my price, which would kind of be the same thing? Well, it's kind of not the same thing, okay? Concessions is not the same thing as dropping your price, because in my opinion, okay, I've sold a lot of houses. Concessions don't sell houses. Concessions, if you got 2 houses going against each other, and in all other aspects, they're kind of similar. It's like let's say you go to buy a Toyota. Okay, you're going to buy a Toyota Camry. Well, it's a Camry. You can buy it anywhere. Okay, you can buy it from this dealership or that dealership. It doesn't matter. It's a Camry. It's a commodity. So, but then this dealership says, hold on a second. I'm going to match the price, but I'm also going to throw in rims, okay, and an upgraded stereo system for the same price. Now we're into concessions. Now we're talking about adding additional benefits and perks. Now for the same price, now that can compete. Okay. But in the absence of that, price is all price. Okay. And with these tools, you're going to be able to see how to use them to get your seller to price it the way that they should. Okay. The way that it's going to get it sold. All right. Remember, we talked about this before, that there's 3 different kinds of sellers. Who remembers the 3 different kinds of sellers? There's 3 different kinds, y'all. Somebody says, I'm sorry I jumped in late, a bit overwhelmed with where to start first. Okay, yeah. We talked about that last week. Been listening to Knolly's audios while on the road. I feel like I need to have an online presence, website, GPT, YouTube channel, social media, all cleaned up first. Yeah, I'm gonna answer that for you too, and Ledon. I appreciate that message from you. So let's talk about this. The 3 kinds of sellers. Write this down. There's 3 kinds. There's those that want to sell. Bradford knows this. You had a good event, huh, Bradford? The first of many, bro. Yeah.
Right. Cindy was there supporting.
I love it. So Cindy in the house. We love you, Cindy. So there's those that want to sell. There's those that, and the want to sales, we know who the want to sell. Man, Bradford, I want to sell my house, but if it doesn't sell, I'm good. But I kind of want to sell it, but let's just see what happens. How many of y'all know that? You know, look, I'm getting a pop-up on my screen. It says, it sounds like you might have switched to a different language. Please update. I have not. Am I still speaking English? Okay, can y'all hear me? All right. I've never seen Zoom do that. It's like, okay, I can break out my Spanish on you now, but we're gonna save that for another time. So there's those that want to sell. Okay, then there's those that need to sell. Man, Nolly, I need to sell my house, and I can't afford this payment anymore, or I got to downsize, or I got to, whatever it is, man, I really need to sell my house. Okay, let's go ahead and get it sold. Okay. And then there's those that have to sell. They have to sell. You know what? My husband just passed away. We got to sell the house. I can't, he was the only breadwinner. You have to, we just got a divorce, and, he's taken everything, or she's taken, whatever the case is, right? It's been court ordered. We have to sell. Have to sell. Now, in this market, just throw it in the chat. Who do you want to work with? Do you want to work with the want to sales, the need to sales, or the have to sales? In this market that we're in right now. By the way, while you're thinking about that, I just want to say, hopefully everyone had a great Resurrection Sunday. It was so wonderful. The sacrifice that Jesus Christ made on behalf of us, the fact that he came into this lower realm to redeem us, to die for us, and not just to die for us, but to resurrect for us. And now he's actually resurrected through us, right? We are the resurrected Christ. We go around in our daily life and our daily walk. We are Jesus. We are Christ. Christ lives within us, and he is the resurrected Christ that lives and breathes and talks through us. So I got to tell you, this week is got me refreshed. Hopefully you got with the Holy Week that we've just been through, to like a rededication, a recommitment. Like, Lord, I'm gonna claim your name with no shame. I'm in the game. It's not gonna be the same. Hopefully you're there with me as well. So I'm just so excited coming up off of the resurrection of Christ that we celebrated anyway yesterday. All right, I love that. Look at Mieko put some nice. Oh, those are so nice. Mieko's the master of this artwork. She does the best artwork, and she uses AI to do her artwork. I've never seen anything quite like it. Look at that first one, the lion and the lamb with the cross. That's so beautiful. All right, so who do we want to work with? We want to work with those that want to sell, need to sell, and everybody is in agreement on this. We got to work with the ones that have to sell. Okay, so who are those people? That's the only question you want to ask yourself. Who are the people that have to sell? It's people facing foreclosure, people going through divorce. It's people that are, going through a probate. Whatever the case is, they're going to be more or less market proof. And there's others, okay, but they're going to be more or less market proof. So always be asking yourself, who is it that has to sell? And how do I get more of those? Okay. Because they're going to be very flexible in their pricing. All right. So let's talk about, I want to show you one other thing before I really kick off. Ladon reminded me of something that I want to show you. Okay, so when you're in school and when you go to the classroom, okay, right here is where you want to start, because a lot of people were jumping in here. Obviously, if you're in Mentorship Masters, all of this is included. If you're not, you're a paying member. Okay, so, but where do you start when you jump in? It's like, hey, here, watch this video first. So click on the start here, watch this 30-minute video, and then these are the 5 things. So if you're just starting or you're starting over, okay, or maybe you didn't start right the first time, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to go through the crash course. You're going to go into the training library. You're going to do the 12-week masterclass. You're going to make sure you attend these classes every week on Monday. And then you're going to have, remember, I have an AKA coaching. So if you have a question, in the middle of the week, you can just post it in the community and then just select the AKA coaching as the category where you want to post that question. And my commitment is to answer it within 24 hours. I'll make the best effort to answer within 24 hours, sometimes even on weekends. You can see that I was kind of blowing up the chat line even through the weekend. As much as possible, try to refrain from sending me on a personal. A lot of times I get messages from you guys on the DM. That's cool. I don't mind. If it's, but in general, I would love for you to ask your questions in the AKA section, because that's where we're going to get the most benefit, where everybody will be able to benefit from the answer. Remember, this is a community. It's not just like one guru teaching. It's everybody's kind of helping each other. So other people get to chime in too, right? All right, so let's talk about these tools. The first one, and we're talking, the topic of this masterclass that we're just now kicking off is called the tools of the listing trade. And they're so important. I want to get into the psychology of why I put these tools together and why they're so important. I'm gonna share my screen because and by the way, today what I want to do is I want to talk to you, even specifically, I want to talk about how to get all these tools for free. So let me share my screen, because there's two ways that you can get everything that I have for free. How many of y'all like free? That's my favorite four-letter word. I got a few four-letter words that I like, but that's my favorite one. All right, so let's look at, all right, so let's look at, we're on successwithlistings.com/toolkit. And this really explains to you, if you really want to understand what all these tools are and the psychology, and understand a little bit about, actually the psychology is going to be these classes, but why did I put these tools together and what purpose do they, it's not just a random collection of tools, by the way. There's a guy that he's another trainer. He's you'll get a kick out of this. There's a guy that's a trainer just like me, and he put together what he called the ultimate pre-listing package. And his promise was this: if you get this pre-listing package, you'll never need to have another pre-listing package ever again. Well, guess what pre-listing package he switched to? Mine. He used to sell his own pre-listing package, but mine is just better. Okay. I've not seen one that's better than mine. I'm just going to say it that way. And I'm not being cocky. Okay. The reason it's better is because it works. There's a lot of psychology behind it. I used to have, when I used to do, and I don't know if any of you ever did this, but I used to do a PowerPoint presentation for my listing. It was terrible. Okay. People had to sit through this presentation, and I could see them like, it's like, could we just get through? Could we just get over this? And little by little, I dwindled it down to what are the things that actually move the needle? What is actually making them make a decision to hire me? And that's what's in here. But the first of them is the book. Okay. Now, before I even go to there, let me just tell you how to get it for free. Okay. The whole toolkit, which is going to be all the tools that you need to get to basically look like a celebrity agent overnight, to look like that agent that's been in the game for a long time, okay, overnight. And many of you have been in the game, some of you have been in the game longer than me, and you don't even have sort of like a package that you can present to somebody. That's just the wrong way to do it. It's just the wrong approach. Just, hoping that you can get all of your business by word of mouth and referral. That's cool, but you should also, it should be shored up with your tools. Okay. Now, how do you get them free? There's two ways. And I'm going to share this with you. Well, there's actually three. I'm going to share the three ways to get it for free. Number one, you can get sponsors. Okay. And that's basically everything. So that's not just the toolkit, but also the coaching club, everything. Okay. You just get sponsors. And let me show you what that looks like. Let me go to our support page. We'll share this with them, Paul, so that they can the Success with Listings support page. So this is our client support page where people that have this whole toolkit go, okay? And it kind of walks them through this, how to use it and all this kind of thing. But the big thing is the what we call the sponsor scripts and sponsor enrollment form, okay? And these are actually fully created. You can download Word documents that essentially go through. Actually, I'm not going to download it now because you don't really need to see it. But let me just give you the strategy. So on the back of your book, of your seller guide, remember that there are 4 different vendors. This one's kind of showing up pixelated, Paul. Let's go in and fix this. Is that just on my end? Let me know if it's looking pixelated on your end, Paul. But there's basically 6 different vendors. You can have like a handyman, a carpet cleaner, a home inspector, a moving service, house cleaner, and a painter. I can't even read these. Does it look like that for you, Paul, too? I can't see you. So just throw it in the chat or unmute yourself. It look the same? Does it look the same for everybody? Pixelated, or is it just my screen? Oops, where am I going? Okay, I cannot see you guys, so I'm gonna have to stop my share. Nobody's microphone's working. Did it look pixelated that way for you guys?
I'll speak up. Yes, it looks pixelated. It is hard to read.
So let's fix that, Paul. Something happened with that image because it didn't used to be that way on the website. So thank you, Cindy. Cindy gets a prize. You get 5 gold stars today, Cindy, for speaking up. Thank you. Whenever I share my screen, sometimes I can't see you guys, so just don't be shy. This is Uncle Knolly we talk. This is family. It's like a family meeting. You know what I'm saying? So anybody can interrupt me. Hey, Knolly, I don't understand what you're talking about at any time. But just know that when I share my screen, for some reason, I can't see you guys. So, all right. So let me get back to where I was. All right. So this is the back of the book. You've got 6 different vendors, and each of those vendors is going to pay you $100 a year to be on the back of your book. Okay. And then your lender, your preferred lender, is going to pay you $300. So just by having this system in place, you're generating advertising revenue of $900 a year. Okay. So which covers the annual cost of the coaching club. So if you're in the coaching club, you're paying $697 a year, or you're paying $97 a month. You get your book and all that unlocked when you're annual, okay? And your sponsors pay for it. So it doesn't cost you a dime. The books to print, I'm going to explain what the book is, why, how to use it, all that kind of stuff later. But this has been by far my #1 listing winner of any tool that I've used. Is my editable. It's basically a seller guide. It's 80 pages. And people are like, well, do people even read it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people read it. If I hand you a book, if I speak on stage and hand you a book when I get it down from stage, you already look at me as the authority. You may never read my book. And hopefully you guys have read my book. Okay. Because if you read it, then you're going to really get a lot of good information and knowledge that you can use. So that's one way, is the sponsors. Number 2, when you join Mentorship Masters. Okay. When you join Mentorship Masters, you partner with us. And how do you join Mentorship Masters? Well, you name any Mentorship Master as your sponsor when you join us at EXP. Okay, if you choose to do that, you name any Mentorship Master, and then you have a whole bunch of benefits that come to you, along with getting all of my tools for free. Okay, and the other way is if you're already an agent, okay, at the company. Then the co-sponsorship, that's something that's coming on the horizon. But just write that down. You could do direct sponsorship or co-sponsorship. That's the second way. And then the third way is you could actually charge it to your clients. Okay. Back in the day, we used to say we charge it to the game. Okay. we changed our tactics a little bit. So we charge it to the client. You guys know that on every listing that I take, I charge a $5.95 transaction fee in addition to my listing commission, which is now 4% instead of, it used to be 3%. So I actually got a raise within the last year with all the changes that occurred. So with the $5.95, that's a whole strategy that is sort of a masterclass of its own, but I've gotten it on over 1,000 listings. Okay. So with that additional $5.95, if you take one additional listing a month, then now you've got the $5.95 a month additional. Okay. And by the way, my clients always pay it at closing. They don't pay it up front. So it's not an additional fee. It's not an upfront fee. It is an additional fee, but it's not an upfront fee. And I have a whole strategy on how I explain it, and the clients are very happy to pay it. Okay. So that's 3 ways to get it paid for, so you don't have to pay out of your pocket. All this stuff that I'm talking about, including the coaching club. Okay. So number one, you can get sponsors. Write these 2 down too, Paul, because I'm not even taking it. I have notes like written loose, because this is family. So I get to kind of just share what's in my brain. So number 1, get sponsors. Number 2, join mentorship masters. Number 3, charge it to your clients. That's the 3 ways you can get it for free. Now let's briefly go into what the book is, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. We're going to pick up next week, and I'm going to go through the psychology of each chapter and why it's in there, what it does, how it kind of works. It's like whittling it down. It's whittling down the no. You know, the seller, people like to say no. How many of y'all know that that's our go-to default? No. Hey, sir, can I help you with anything? You looking for something? No. You know good and well, you know you need help. You know you need help when you walked in, but you don't want help. Why? Because it's not that you're telling them you don't want help. It's just that it's a default. We're wired for no. Can I help you with anything? No. Have you ever thought, we were walking through Costco the other day, and you know, if it's a free sample, it's a yes. Hey, would you like to try this? Yes. Okay. But hey, have you thought about upgrading your windows at your house? No. You keep walking. Okay. Even though you might know you need windows. Okay. But why? Because people don't want to be sold. Write it down. People love to buy, but they don't want to be sold. Write it down. People love to buy, don't want to be sold. Okay. So you got to ask yourself, am I selling this person, or am I creating a desire to buy within them? See, when my tools are in somebody's inbox, if you will, their front door, 2 days before I go on the listing appointment, I'm creating the urgency. They want to buy. Like, they want to buy from me. Have you ever, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gone to a restaurant that didn't have a menu? Anybody ever been to one? A restaurant
during COVID with the QR codes.
No QR code, no menu, just no menu, nothing.
Can't afford those, Knolly.
Yeah, I'm the same. You know, even if you can, you're like, this is I mean, I'm not talking about a menu with no prices. That's different. But just no menu. You walk in, you sit down, and I'm looking at Cindy. I said, and Cindy's, you know, I'm trying to use the politically correct term. You know, they don't say waitress anymore. They say, what is the server? Okay, whatever. All right. So you guys, this family. So you guys will give me some slack. So Cindy comes over. She said, what do you have? I'm like, well, where's the menu? They're like, nah, you just tell me what you want. I'm like, that don't, even though I get it, you can make anything. Cindy's good in the kitchen. She could do whatever. I just don't feel comfortable. I'm used to having a menu. Okay. Now, when you try to go on a listing appointment without a pre-listing package, you don't have a book, you don't have a pre-listing package, you're going to lose to somebody like me, period. Okay. Or you might never get called in the first place. Okay. Because if I'm dropping my pre-listing package off at the house, and then you just trying to show up, you're done. you've already been eliminated, okay? Because I already gave them the menu before they came to the restaurant. How many of you are thinking about maybe going to a restaurant and you start, or your spouse starts pulling up the menu to see if you even want to drive across town? You've never been there before, right? How many of y'all do that? Okay. Or you check it out online to see what do they have? Do they have anything I want? Okay. God knows I don't want to sit down with Bradford and then tell him I'm not going to hire him. I want to be able to kind of make my mind up first. So now I'm giving them the menu, I'm giving them all the specials, I'm giving them everything. And when I sit down in front of them, they're ready to place their order. And what's their order? To list with me. That's the order. They're ready. Okay. So a lot of times you're making it harder than it needs to be by not having tools in place. Okay. Or not using the tools that you have, or not even having the right ones. Okay. So let's just today is kind of an overview. Next week, we're going to get into specifically what is the book? How do you use it? There's 5 different ways to use it. You know, what are they? And how can you have it do the heavy lifting for you? Okay, we're going to get into that next week. So what are the 3 tools? Let's just repeat. Number 1 is your seller guide. You need to have a book and it needs to be printed. Yep, in 2025, I'm telling you that. Yes, you need to have a physical book. Yes. Number 2, you got to have a physical pre-listing. But I got the QR code. It looks real nice online. I get it. It does look nice online. I love how it looks online. Got to be physical. It's got to be something that they can put in their hand. Okay. It's got to be physical if you want to win. Okay. We're talking about winning. And then you want to have a pre-listing package. I'm okay with that being a QR code. But if it is, I want it printed on like a nice cardstock to where the QR code's on there, and you're like, the message is so compelling that they would feel like idiots not to watch your pre-listing video. Okay. So as we're going through this, as we're going through this masterclass, I'm going to talk to you about first the book, the different chapters, what they do, what the psychology is. I mean, literally, a person can just read the chapters of your book, like the titles of them, and decide to list with you. Not even have to read the book. Okay. And by the way, the book to print a book is $3. Let me say it again. It's $2.85 to print a copy of the book. Do you think it's worth you spending $3 to get that listing? I'm going to answer for you. Yes. Okay. Now the pre-listing package. Okay. We're going to go through every single piece of the pre-listing package, the cover letter, the what I call the real results. Okay. Which is, they're testimonials, but I never call them testimonials. There's a reason why. We'll talk about that. When I talk about my marketing plan, okay, I don't call it a marketing plan. I call it a seller success system. It's the Knolly Seller Success System. Okay. I branded it. Okay. It's not a marketing plan because everybody has a marketing plan. Cindy's got a marketing plan. Paul has a marketing plan. Bradford has a marketing plan. Ladone has a marketing plan. You get the point. Okay. I have a system, a seller system. It's still a marketing plan, by the way, but I call it something different. So we'll go through every single piece of that. And then we're going to go through the pre-listing video. We're going to script it out together. We're going to use ChatGPT. We're going to do a lot of stuff together as we go through this masterclass. And it's okay. Okay. One of my gurus told me, I was going to say it's okay for us to slow down. One of my gurus told me, but Knolly, I need money now. I get that. Okay. So one of my gurus told me, to get real big, you got to get real small. If you want to get real big, you got to get real small. You got to start focusing on less. Why? Because it's 10% of what you do that's bringing in 90% of your commissions. And 90% of the things that you do today and tomorrow and the next day bring in 10% of your commissions. Time to focus on the 10% that brings in the 90%. And this is you working on your business, not in it, when you put all this together. So we're going to build these out together over the next X number of weeks. as we do this sort of in-person masterclass.
Well, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Success with Listings podcast. If you are serious about taking your real estate career to the highest heights, making more money and helping more clients while working less hours and spending more time with your family, be sure to get your copy of my free book, Triple My Listing, absolutely free at successwithlistings.com. Now, you want to be sure that you subscribe to the podcast and check out successwithlistings.com to get your copy of my free book. Hey, I'll see you on the next one.